is on the ground already. We could get a couple more inches tonight, and then Wednesday night into Thursday morning, we could see our biggest snow event so far this season. It's all making for rough travel, especially across our mountain passes, which have been closed off and on for the past few days. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 10 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan, standing alongside meteorologist Thomas Patrick in the Outdoor Weather Center tonight. And Thomas, it is snowing, but the snow we're getting right now pales in comparison to the storm heading our way later.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Glad we could actually drag you out here, experience that snowfall firsthand for yourself. But
right.
yeah, you mentioned the mountain passes, 260 inches of snow over Snoqualmie already this season.
Wow.
We're getting a bit of snow. I would call this moderate right now,
yeah.
But you are absolutely right. It was going to pale in comparison to what we're going to have tomorrow night and into Thursday. That is the main event that we are tracking in our forecast. That's the graphic that you see behind me. The blue shaded areas are winter storm watches. This is the first of the season for the Spokane area. A lot of areas, probably at least 4 inches of snow, but there's high-end potential for 8, 9, 10 inches or even more, especially in some of our northern areas. The winter weather advisories for the Lewiston area actually are for tonight's snow primarily. So let's show you that snowfall that is falling as of right now. Actually, it's not moving at the moment. So the weather graphics frozen for the second, but all we know is that the snow tonight's going to be about 1 to 2 inches. So obviously a bit slippery for tomorrow morning, but as I kind of alluded to, there we go. Here's Doppler radar. See how the radar is filling in as of this moment. We're just starting to see the beginning of tonight's snowfall. About 1 to 2 inches of snow for tonight, but even more on the way for tomorrow night and into Thursday. And yes, that does impact our mountain passes pretty heavily. In fact, Snoqualmie and Stevens Pass, they will be getting the heavy snow late tomorrow night. Starts to shift over Snoqualmie 4th of July Pass, more so heading into Thursday. So coming up, going to detail how much snow you can expect with this major winter storm and the time frame for that widespread snow to fall across the region. Those details are all coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Thomas, we'll talk to you then. Thank you very much. Well, speaking of, I-90 westbound over Snoqualmie Pass closed right now due to extreme weather conditions and crashes, and those types of conditions will not let up anytime soon. Travel across all the mountain passes will be challenging over the next few days. Heavy winds are expected over the Cascades with at least 2 feet of snow Wednesday night. So everyone is suggested not to use the mountain passes the next 72 hours. So if you can, consider delaying your trip, transportation officials say. And we want to make sure you have everything you need to know for the upcoming snowstorm. So for the latest hour-by-hour forecast and Thomas' latest forecast, just text us the word weather to 509-448-2000 and we'll send a link directly to your phone. Now to our other top story tonight, record new COVID cases. Just yesterday, the U.S. reported more than 1 million new cases. We are seeing a huge surge as well here locally. The Spokane Regional Health District is now reporting 718 new COVID cases today alone. That is a huge jump from yesterday when the health district reported 203 new cases. 78 people are currently hospitalized right now with the virus. That's a jump of 11 new hospitalizations since yesterday. Meantime, across the state line, the Panhandle Health District is reporting 163 new COVID cases today. 80 people are hospitalized with the virus. That's a jump of 19 new hospitalizations just since yesterday. Looking nationally now, coronavirus infections are shattering records in the U.S. More than 1 million new cases were reported yesterday alone. Now that number likely includes totals from Saturday and Sunday, but the 7-day average of new cases is now close to 500,000 cases a day. The Washington State Board of Health is considering adding the COVID-19 vaccine to the list of vaccines K-12 students are required to have to attend public school. The Meade School Board wants parents to let the state know how they feel. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk talked to one board member who said she supports vaccines, but not mandates.
Right now, there are 11 vaccines that students are required to have if they attend public school or daycare. Those include measles, mumps, polio, and chickenpox. Now, the Washington State Board of Health is considering adding the COVID-19 vaccine to the list.
We're talking to lots of parents. There are a lot of people who are very concerned about this, and not just parents, grandparents, community members. There's a lot of people concerned about this.
Brianne Gray is a parent and a Meade School Board member.
So I totally support vaccines again and all other childhood immunizations. What we're kind of arguing is a mandate for this. It's forcing parents to vaccinate their children, even though they don't necessarily feel comfortable with it. But they're being put in this position to vaccinate or not have access to education, and it's just, this is a totally unnecessary and terrible position to put the parents in.
A survey from our Seattle sister station, King 5, asked 650 Washington state residents how they felt about mandating the COVID-19 vaccine for schools. Overall, 41% said they strongly support the idea, 27% strongly opposed. But look at the breakdown of numbers on each side of the state. 54% of Eastern Washington residents surveyed opposed the mandate, while 66% of people in Western Washington supported it.
Hearing people say they're going to take their kids out of school.
Last November, the Seattle School District urged the state to add the COVID-19 vaccine to the list of required immunizations.
Public schools are meant to be run locally, right, and have local control and not always have this top-down sort of government approach.
Meade School Board members are asking parents to speak up and provide public comments to the State Board of Health ahead of their January 12th meeting. Those comments have to be submitted by noon this Friday on the state website.
It's our job as the school board to represent their voice and to stand up and let the State Board of Health know.
Reporting in Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Meanwhile, Gonzaga University is requiring COVID-19 booster shots for all vaccinated students, faculty, and staff. Gonzaga said people must receive their booster shot within 14 days of becoming eligible. Students should update their status with booster information no later than January 21st. Gonzaga is also requiring that all students, regardless of vaccination status, get tested 48 hours before returning to campus. Providence's chief medical officer gave a stern warning of the impact that Omicron could have locally. He talked about a probable upcoming surge in cases, which could lead to increased hospitalizations. Dr. Dan Getz said that Providence is experiencing more healthcare workers getting sick with COVID or being exposed and having to be tested before returning to work. This is compounding the staffing issues the hospital is already facing as they continue to treat high numbers of not just COVID patients, but also those sick with other illnesses. Getz warned of severe consequences if the staffing crisis gets worse and hospitalization numbers get high as well.
You just can't deliver care to everybody. And we're already at a point now where staffing is incredibly challenging. And if we see lots of ill calls and a high volume of patients, this really could drive the state into a crisis standards of care setting.
Dr. Getz also said this is impacting the number of testing they can provide to people. He did say that the peak of hospitalizations during Delta was a lot worse than what Providence is currently seeing, but it is on par with the first surge during the pandemic.
Been working to try to keep up with volume. It's definitely taking a toll. So also the double volume of the onset of the new variant has also been really hard for us to match staffing measures.
And we've talked about challenges that Omicron is creating for our local testing sites. With only 2 local mass testing sites, Spokane residents looking to get tested for COVID are having to allocate up to an hour of wait time. Both testing sites have 500 tests for each day of operation. Discovery Health, which is running the sites, has plans to increase testing capacities to 1,400 tests per day, but they're having enough staffing is delaying that goal, they said. Providence Health also talked about staffing shortages, saying people are the most valuable asset they have when trying to provide more local testing access. They say a way for the public to help move lines faster is by pre-registering for tests and submitting information online before visiting the site. We know that was a lot of information, so for more on where to get tested and how to get tested, just text us the word COVID to 509-448-2000 and we'll send that information directly to your phone.
So we have a clear majority. Congratulations, Councilmember Haley, you are the new mayor.
Tonight, the city of Spokane Valley has just selected a new mayor. In the Valley, voters elect council members and then the council votes on the mayor and the deputy mayor. So the council selected Pam Haley as their new mayor tonight. She replaces Ben Wick, who remains on the council. Haley has served on the city council for 6 years now. She is a small business owner as well. Rod Higgins was chosen to serve as the deputy mayor. State Democrats are looking to put the controversial long-term care tax on hold until next year. Deductions from paychecks were set to begin this month, but last month, Governor Jay Inslee put the payroll tax on pause, saying some kinks needed to be worked out. This week, Democratic House lawmakers pre-filed legislation to delay the tax until July of next year. Under the legislation, any premium collected before then would be refunded by the state within 120 days.
And we just went into a mode where we're getting these kids out, we're getting them safe.
Coming up after the break, a family of Good Samaritans jumping into action to rescue children after a fire in their backyard. We'll have more on that story coming up after the break.